Hello, everyone. Welcome. Please confirm if you can hear me in the chat. Good afternoon, Taiwo. Good afternoon, Chinelo. Good afternoon, Nambam. I hope I didn't bother that name. Please, can you hear me, everyone? Let's have more people join in. Please respond in the chats if you can hear me and where you're joining from. We'll start in a little bit. Thank you, Hazana. I think I pronounced that well. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Let's just wait for two more people and then we'll start. Thank you, Toby, for joining on Instagram. Thank you, Zico. Thank you, Debbie, for joining. So we'll just start. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Priscilla. Thank you for joining this session with us. Um, if you're not familiar with Xterns.ai, I would do like a quick intro before we get into, mastering e-commerce testing with advanced testing QA, right? With Akunna. Akunna is here with us and she can't wait to, get us into all the expertise, that she has, right? Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Oh, Hazana, you're joining from Nasarawa. It's nice to have you. Chijioke, thank you. Kende, thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, so let's just get into it. So a little bit about Xterns. Okay, Kende, you're joining from Ogun State, right? So a little bit about Xterns. I'm sure that some of us here are not new to tech. We've probably taken, a course in tech, I'm hoping in QA or maybe engineering generally. And we've had problems with, life after boot camp, life after learning. And by the way, if you haven't learned and you still have interest in tech and you are here by chance, please go to diary.io and, get the skill, right? And then come to Xterns. But going back to Xterns, so we've all been in that situation where we've acquired the skill, and then the next step is for us to start implementing, hopefully get a job and all of that. And it's not easy because every job wants you to prove the skill that you have, right? One way or the other, they want you to be able to execute the task that they give you. And also, hiring is an expensive project for businesses, so they want to be sure that the people that they are hiring are fit for the job, can get the job done, and then it's not like you get them into the labor market again after a month because the person they hired isn't fit for the job, right? So there's a need for you to prove that skill, and that's why we birth Xterns.ai. And basically, Xterns.ai is for you to build on your skill, right? Build, implement the skill that you've learned, work on projects, work with teams, build your confidence, and build your EI score. I'm going to talk more about that when I'm sharing my screen about Xterns. And really, the point of Xterns is to ensure that we help you become solid enough and fit for the jobs that you're applying for. And also, we want you to be attractive enough to recruiters, to employers, generally, right? So I hope we all get the purpose of Xterns right now, right? So that's the whole point of Xterns, and everything we do on Xterns or AI is really to equip you with everything that you need to transition into, a job, right? So I'm going to be sharing my screen now so that I just walk us through how Xterns work and how you can be a part of Xterns. And the reason why I want you to have this first is because you need that to be able to work with Akunna on the project that she's working or building, right? Akunna, do you mind sharing the screen with me for Xterns login? Thank you guys for joining. I'm seeing Kwara State, seeing Adamawa. That's nice. Hi, Stephen. Welcome. Are you sharing the screen on the login page of Xterns? It's not up yet. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay. So if you guys are on your computer or your phone, if you type xterns.ai, it will, and you click on apply now, it will take you here, right? And then we'll just collect some info, your name, your email. Please scroll down. And then this is just your sign up page where you give us some info. And once you submit this, to ensure that the people we are bringing into Xterns are truly, they truly have the skill that they're claiming to have, there's a bit of assessment that you would, have to do. It's not something serious, not so serious. It's just for us to ascertain that, you've taken the training and there's something to prove for your skill. So once you pass the assessment, you would get a response immediately from our team, a congratulations or, a try again email. So we have a particular benchmark score that we look forward to because we're trying to ensure that the people that we get in are actually solid enough to do the projects that we have in there, right? So once all of that is done and you've successfully signed up to Xterns, this is going to be your view, right? So you have the dashboard, you have your project on the side, join a pod, proposal, and all of that. Please, can you click on explore projects? So the first thing you want to do is to know all the projects that are available because when you're doing your sign up, you would have selected the pathway. In this case, quality assurance would be the pathway of interest, right? So you are going to click on explore projects to see the options that you have, right? So we have 2 projects right now. I mean, we're constantly uploading projects, and once they are done, they are off the screen. So please, can you click on any of the projects? So if you click on any of those projects, you then see the details of the project, what we're looking to. So you see the description of that project, the content, the key things that need to be achieved, right, to close that particular project. And it also tells you, the technologies you should have or know, to be able to execute this particular project, right? So to join this project, you can write solo on some projects and you join pod. But most of the projects right now, you need to join a pod. Now, a pod is like a company, like a team where you have people coming together to work to drive a particular goal, right? Um, so once you click on, can you go to the join in pod screen? So once you click on the projects that you are interested in and you've joined the pod, you would then see all the steps, right? The projects would have been broken down into steps for you, and they will all be in your backlog on to do, right? So as you pick each ticket to work on, you move them across, your board, in progress, review, and done, right? So there's also the project management system that we've embedded into this, right? To ensure that you actually having this is really a semblance of you working in a company, right? So you're not losing touch, right? So it's really you building your skill like you are, working for a company. Because the whole idea of Xterns is for you to do, internship, right? So you have the opportunity to join Xterns for free and work on one project, join a pod for free completely. So, use this opportunity, use it wisely. And I'll just be pushing this to Akunna. She's going to be talking more about our project and introducing it to you. And will hopefully you sign up to Xterns and be a part of this amazing project and build your portfolio. Akuna, over to you. If you By the way, if you have questions, please drop it in the chat. I'll be reading and responding immediately. Akuna, you're on mute.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Akunna Nwosu, a quality assurance specialist and a tech lead. I'm really glad you could join me today. We'll be talking about QA in SaaS, and that stands for Software as a Service. That is, SaaS just means software that you use online every day, like your Netflix, your Gmail, Zoom, or online stores, right? These apps update frequently and need testers like you to make sure everything works perfectly. Imagine shopping online and you try using a coupon code, but the discount doesn't apply, or maybe the payment page crashes if your internet is slow. Now, these are the exact kind of problems that QA specialist catches before real customers experience frustration. You also learn about the project on extent, where you work together in small teams called a pod, like Priscilla said. Think of a pod as your own QA squad, about 10 or more testers collaborating together, finding bugs, and helping each other learn. It's like playing on a sports team where everyone wins by finding an issue. Along the way, I'll share some practical tools and tips to help you test smarter and become more confident. I'll be sharing my screen now. Please, Priscilla, can you help with the slides? All right, thank you very much. So, what you learned today, let me walk you through exactly what we're going to cover today. First of all, you understand the role of QA in SaaS and e commerce, why it's critical for online businesses to test software regularly. For example, when Amazon introduces a new payment option, right? Testers make sure it works smoothly on every device, preventing customer frustration. Now, next, we'll explore manual testing, manual testing basics for e-commerce, especially the checkout flow, right? Checkout is crucial because it's where customers actually pay. and even small bugs like missing buttons can lead to loss of sales. We'll also discuss common challenges QA team faces, such as keeping up with frequent updates. Like I said before, I will introduce you to tools that will help you um, help testers by automating repetitive tasks like testing on many devices or writing a clear bug report. So I'll be introducing you to those tools. Now, moving on to what is quality assurance. Firstly, I like to say that I also this course is this webinar is to show you how to apply this knowledge, right? This knowledge in real projects, like the project you'll be working on Xterns, so that you can get real world experience that employers will value. Do you get me? So moving on to what is quality assurance. Quality assurance, or QA, is making sure software works correctly before customers use it. It's all about catching problems early and ensuring a smooth user experience. QA has two main types, and I believe we all know that, which is the manual testing and the automated testing, right? Manual testing means you explore the app like a real user. You click on buttons, you fill forms, and try different paths to find bugs or confusing parts. For example, a buy now button might be hidden on a small phone device, or on a small screen, or an error message might be unclear, right? Manual testing catches these issues effectively. Now, for automated testing, it uses scripts to run tests, and then it runs them quickly and repeatedly. It checks basic functions like login or page loading, and it saves time and catches common issues quickly. Automated tests might verify um, search results, all that always appears, and then or appears correctly even under heavy traffic. Now, both manual and automated testing matters, but manual testing provides human insights, while automated testing ensures speed and consistency. Both in your project, you focus on manual testing to deeply understand user experience. Talking about the challenges in SaaS QA, so basically testing SaaS app is challenging because these apps frequently updates, sometimes multiple times daily, right? Testers must continuously check features. Another big challenge is the variety of devices and browsers that a feature work well on. For instance, a feature that works well on desktop Chrome might break on Safari or an Android. Now, as a tester, you must thoroughly check different devices and scenarios. Also, SaaS app often connects to other services like payment gateways or shipping providers. If anyone breaks, the user suffers it. Now imagine checking out and the payment provider stops working. You can't complete your purchase. It's frustrating and costly. So you might be wondering, what do I do if a third-party service like Paystack and the likes has issues? Now, first of all, you document clearly what happened by taking a screenshot, note error message, and record steps. Then specify clearly that it's a third-party issue. For example, payment service XYZ returns an error, preventing customers from checking out. Then thirdly, you now report the issue immediately in your bug tracking tools. Now we have bug tracking tools like Jira and Trello. You clearly label it as a third-party issue. Finally, you notify your development team quickly so that they can contact the service provider to resolve it. Now, another important challenge is performance, right? How apps handle many users at once. That is the performance. Performance testing makes sure the app stays fast and stable under load. Now, some of you might be asking, how do I run performance testing manually? How do I do it manually? Because, like I said, the project we'll be doing on Xterns, we're looking at manual testings, right? So some of you be asking, how do I perform, um, do manual performance testing manually? What you do is you open multiple browser tabs to mimic many users browsing or checkouts. Then you are timing how long the page loads. That way you're doing a performance on each browser tab. You're timing how long the page loads when there are multiple people there. You're noticing if the app is slow or if it is freezing or crashing during heavy use. And then you're recording exactly when and where performance drop. Now, manual performance helps find obvious issues users might face. Users will not do automated testing, right? Now, as a QA, you should do manual testing to understand how users will feel in that situation, so you can also relate. It can fully stimulate, it can't really fully stimulate thousands of users at once. And now, I'm sure some of you are like, opening different tabs at once, how do I, it's lots of work. Yes, there are AI tools that would help you with that. We have tools like ChatGPT. I believe we all know what ChatGPT is, of course. ChatGPT will help you generate your test script, so you don't even have to like really, really stress about it. But yes, there are some things that you might think of that ChatGPT might not ChatGPT might not help you. Yes, ChatGPT be very, 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 very smart, but our creativity as as a QA, makes us unique. Then also tools like Browser Stack. Browser Stack is an AI tool that has various versions, different versions of websites. If you check Browser Stack, has multiple phones that you don't even need to buy. AI has made it very, very easy for us as QAs to test. So I'm going to be going in on that later. So moving on to how QA is changing in SaaS. Now, QA isn't just the final step anymore. It's a continuous part of development. You don't just test once and say, "Oh, I've tested, that's the end." No, it's a continuous part in development. It's something that you need to keep doing. You need to continue doing along the line in the development stage. Now, for manual testers simulate real user scenario like entering expired coupon code or strange input data. Now, catching issues that automation might miss, because there are some tests that you run as a manual tester that automation might actually miss. Do you understand? Today testers collaborate closely with developers and product owners from the beginning. That's what we call the agile method. Now, the agile method means smaller, frequent updates, requiring continuous testing. For example, a new emphasis on a new save for later button is checked manually across different devices, while automation regularly verifies existing features. Now, this ongoing approach quickly identifies issues and improves software quality faster, because you're doing it bit by bit and you're testing as time goes on. That's the agile method. Now, talking about the AI tools that we already spoke about, let me introduce you to some helpful AI and testing tools to support your QA work. I said before, I spoke about Browser Stack, and I said I was going to talk about it later. Now, Browser Stack lets you test sites on hundreds of real devices and browsers online. You can quickly verify your checkout flow on devices like iPhone, Android, Chrome, Safari without even buying them. That is how beautiful AI has become, and it's here to make our work easier and not take our job. Right? It helps our work easier. Imagine a tool that can actually help you test on multiple versions of website, even versions that you think you've forgotten about. Browser Stack has that. Fonts that you think you've forgotten about, Browser Stack has that. And as a QA, you should always put yourself in a user's position, right? There are some people that are not do not use the kind of phones that you use. They do not use the high-end phones. So you need to also test on devices like that. And Browser Stack is here to help you. They help you test on low-end devices. How will your product be on a low-end device? How will it look like on a low-end device? How does it feel on a low-end device? How does it feel on a lower version of your browser? Now, also ChatGPT, like I said before, helps you clearly write professional bug reports, or test cases. Just describe the problem, and ChatGPT creates clear, useful descriptions that developers can easily understand. I take myself for example. When I have too many things on my plate, like I said, AI is here to help you, assist you, support you in doing your work, not take your job. There are times where I have a lot on my plate and I need to create my test cases, right? I will just go to ChatGPT. And now ChatGPT has upgraded to the point where I can actually do a voice recording of what I want, right? And I go to ChatGPT, I tell ChatGPT about the website that I want to do a test case for. I tell ChatGPT about the features, and I tell ChatGPT I want a professional test case. Yes, it might not give me all of the things that I want, but it will give me most of the things that I want to test for. Now, it has made my work easier because if at all I need to add anything, I do not need to start thinking of 50 test cases. I do not need to start thinking of 20, from maybe 100 test cases that I need to think of. ChatGPT has helped me with like 80 of them. Correct? Yes. So we also have tools like New Relic, Datadog. They help you automatically monitor your app performance and alert about error or slowdowns, helping fix issues proactively. Then we also have virtual testing tools like Screener. They help you automatically catch UI issues by comparing screenshots across multiple devices. Like I said, remember this. I keep saying it again. I'm sure some of you are like, this world of AI, very soon, AI will take my job, or AI will replace me. These tools are not here to replace you or take your job. They are here to help you work smarter. It's not about working hard, it's about working smarter. Work smarter and faster by handling repetitive or time-consuming tasks, so you can focus on the creative and thoughtful part of testing that only a human can do. For your exploratory testing, you're the only one that can do it. AI cannot help you do exploratory testing. So your creativity as a QA is what makes you unique. Your creativity as a QA is what makes you different from an AI. Your thoughts, the way you think about your product, the way you want to test your product is what makes you different from an AI. The things that you see that, oh, you need to test this, is what makes you different from an AI. Because for AIs, for ChatGPT, there are some things that when you even ask for, it doesn't give you everything in details. You now have to ask again, and then you keep asking for it to get it correctly. But as a QA, like I said, your creativity is what makes you different. Now let's talk about our projects. The name or the project title is Manual QA. You know, I said we're talking about manual, where we're going to be focusing on manual QA testing, right? So the project is manual QA testing on e-commerce. So manual QA testing on an e-commerce checkout flow. Like Priscilla has said, Xterns is an online platform designed to provide practical hands-on experience. When you join, you work in a small team called a pod, usually around 10 testers, like I've said before. 10 testers because, of course, we're QAs, right? In a pod, you collaborate, you share findings, and learn together like your own real-world QA team. In this project, you test the entire checkout flow, from searching product to adding item carts, applying promo codes, filling shipping details, and completing payments. You look carefully for bugs, performance slowdown, or confusing interaction. You document clear test cases and bug using tools like Google Sheets or Jira, right? But preferably Google Sheets since we're working on Xterns. So Google Sheets, your pod will produce a brief report summarizing test coverage, discovered issues, and improvement suggestion. Now, you must have seen how Xterns look like, where a ticket is being assigned to you, a task is being assigned to you. That is how you work. But doesn't mean you cannot collaborate. You can collaborate, come together, your pod, and then ask questions, discuss. By completing this project, you have real world experience you can proudly showcase to potential employers. It's one thing to say you know QA concepts, but it's much more powerful to show that you've actually worked on a real project. Now, testing an e-commerce web checkout flow, just like a real company, is enough to show an employer that you know what you're doing. Employers love seeing evidence that you can apply your skill practically and work well in a team setting, right? Your work on Xterns can be added to your portfolio or your resume, making you stand out in interviews. You can be able to confidently say that I've tested a live product or a live project, I've found bugs, I've written test cases, and I've collaborated with other QA, other testers to improve software quality. You can proudly say that. You can beat your chest and say, because you know that you've done. If tomorrow they say, okay, bring your test cases, you're bringing it out. If they say, okay, let me see your portfolio, you know that you've done something. You've worked on a real life project. Now, Extent gives you that experience. This experience helps you build your confidence, your teamwork skills, and understanding of real QA workflow. These are all the things that boost your chances of landing a next job or internship in tech. Now, success means finding important issues, documenting clearly, and communicating well with your pod. By completing this project, it will be valuable, or it builds your value in real world QA skills, your teamwork and experience. You can proudly discuss it in job interviews because you know that this is something you've done. This is something Extent was, because most times you're looking for, okay, how do I handle projects? I just want to work on something so that at least I can show. This is a very good opportunity to show to employers, people that are willing to hire a QA, that yes, this is something that you have done, that you're good at. So thanks for joining today. Now is your chance to ask me any question. Nothing is too small. Clarify anything from today's session. Ask about your QA careers, the Xtern project, or anything else. Remember, QA is always evolving. Stay focused, stay curious, keep learning, and keep practicing. Together, we are building software that people will love to enjoy using. Please ask your question. Over to you, Priscilla. I'll be waiting for questions. I'm here to answer questions from anybody. I can't hear you, Priscilla.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So the first question is, how do you do automated testing? I know you briefly spoke on it, but do you mind running it again, just briefly?
So like I said, automated testing has to do with scripts, and you use tools like Appium, Catalan Studio to run automated testing. You basically record whatever it is. Some tools like Catalan Studio, you can record what you want to test, and then it writes a script for you, and then you go ahead and test. Like I said before, automated testing is it tests features that already exist, features that you can constant features like your login, something that you can just test your login, test stable features basically. I hope that answers your
Okay.
question. But we're not focusing on
Um,
automated testing, so you're
yeah.
good.
Okay. Thank you for that. Someone asked, "Are you joining as tech lead or become an extern?" So you are joining as an extern. So when you go to externs.ai, you want to click on become an extern, right? Because you are coming in to build experience, right? To build your portfolio. So you're coming in as an extern. So click on become an extern. I think I left that. Let me pull up more questions. So, sorry, we already treated this. Sorry, hold on. Okay, someone says, no, I think this question is for Dario Datayo, not Xterns. Or do we have mini projects on Xterns?
No, we don't. It's for Darid Otayo.
That's a Dario Datayo question. Okay, I think that's about it. Please, what's going on with Xterns? I can't join a pod. I sent an email. Okay. Hi Kafayat. If you are you on the WhatsApp group? If you are on the WhatsApp group, please drop your question there or your complaints there. And if you're not, you can drop your email address in any of our DMs on LinkedIn, Twitter, and anyone would pick it up from there. So, do we need? Okay, so another question is: do we need to know all the testing tools? Isn't it a lot, Akuna?
No, you don't need to know all the testing tools. And yes, it's a lot. You pick the one that works for you depending on your job description. So you pick whatever works for you. You don't need to know all, but it's good to have an idea of what they're about and what they look
Okay.
like. But you don't use all to work, definitely.
Someone is asking, can we download Jira to explore testing issues?
So Jira is not to test issues. Jira is to report bugs. But yes, you
Yeah.
can of course download Jira to report your bugs, and not
Okay.
to test issues.
Okay. So for everyone asking to be added to the WhatsApp group, you need to be an extern first. So go to the website and sign up. Once you sign up and you do your assessment and it's successful, in your onboarding email you would get a link to join the WhatsApp channel, right? Because we're trying not to put everyone in that channel, just the people who are truly externs, right? So guys, thank you so much for joining. If we have more questions, this is the time to send them in. Questions about externs, questions about QA. I think we still have more time. What LinkedIn URL can I use? I think the LinkedIn URL being asked there is your own profile, your profile page on LinkedIn. I wish to inquire if the knowledge of any programming language would be required for the project. Akuna?
Programming language, no. No.
Okay. So, Mohammed, you have the response there. You don't need any programming language skill to work on the QA project. To register, please use the link I'm posting right now to join. Once you click this link, click on Become an Extern, take the assessments, and you would just follow the steps that follow after that. So, in the absence of more questions, I guess we can. How do I join the WhatsApp group? So, join the WhatsApp group, guys. You need to take the assessment, you need to be an extern and you'll be added to a group. Um, Browser stack is not free. Is there any open source someone can leverage? Akuna?
Well, unfortunately, no, right? There's no open source. So you need to use Browser Stack for AI tools. But like I said, it is something you can do without the AI tools. But the AI tools there is there to, like I said, help you work smarter and helps you work faster. So you can also, if you listen to me, I said you can open your tabs, open different tabs of the same website on your system and then try to log in. But yeah, you can do that. Browser Stack is not free, and there are no free AI tools for cross browsing tests.
Okay. Say that. So yes, if it says that your score is too low, you're going to need to try again. I think it takes a bit of time for you to try again. So you're going to need to try again, because the projects on Xterns requires, most of those projects, they have prerequisites, right? So there's a need for you to be skilled in, the stacks that are required for your projects, right? So this assessment is very important, so you're going to need to try again if it says your score is too low. Hi Rashid, I've said again, to join the WhatsApp group, you need to be an extern. So if I don't get any more question in 5 minutes, I think that will be it. Okay, I'm an extern, pass the assessment and do not get the email for the WhatsApp group. Okay, sorry about that, Victor. So I've noticed Victor and Kafayat. I will reach out to you after now to send you a link to WhatsApp group. Okay, not sure. Do we still have any other question? Okay, Kafayat, have you done your assessments? Are you on the platform? Hassana, the only link important at this stage right now is the link for you to sign up. And that's xterns.ai. I'm an extern, but I haven't received an email that leads me to WhatsApp group help. I'm waiting for the link to register. So the link to register is this link I'm putting in the chat right now. Please use that to register. It's simply xterns.ai, right? Once you land on the page, please click on Become an Xtern and you can get started. Or better still, let me click this link. Do we have any other question? Someone says, what if my score is too low to proceed? You're going to need to try again. So you want to, maybe, I don't know, have you taken, because this is, it's important that you have the skill. So if you're still a student of QA, right, maybe you want to wait a bit to finish your training and come back on Xterns, right? And if you're new to QA, and you have interest in QA, but you don't have the skill, you might need to come to Dari.io to get trained, right? Because you have to have the skill before you come to Xterns. That's very important, right? That's very, very important. I just completed my registration and I'm yet to receive any email to join the WhatsApp group. Okay. Was your assessment successful? If yes, don't worry, I'm going to look through all of this and push an email to you. The registration is not clickable. Just copy the link and put in your browser. What do I gain becoming an Xterns? Okay, so I guess you joined it. So I'm just going to do like a recap, right? So the whole point of Xterns is to create a platform where people can work in teams, right? work on projects in teams, right, with a tech lead and build their portfolio. What we are trying to do is to help people build experience, build expertise after taking trainings, tech trainings, right? So we have different projects on each pathway, right? So, say for instance, quality assurance, we have projects there that you can explore, join the pod, be a part of it, contribute on that project, finish the project. That's one project that you have in your portfolio. And what this does for you is that it actually gives you the rudiments, the groundwork, right? You are more seasoned, right? Because something about learning something theoretically is that you know it, but until you implement it, you really don't know how solid you are in it. So that's what Xterns is trying to do for people. We're trying to bridge the gap between freshly people who just freshly got tech skills, right? Helping them implement their skills and build confidence, build experience, you know, um, to prepare them for the job. Everybody's learning a skill really to get a job, right? But every job wants you to have an experience. So we're helping you to bridge that gap, right? So there's one thing I wanted to speak about that is important when you join Xterns, right? We have something called the EIS, right? Is the Employability Index Score. We have recruiters that we have partnered with who come on our platform, to source for talents, right? It's very important to mention before you join Xterns that the EIS score is what separates all the talents that we have on the platform. And you can only build your score, on by the number of projects that you're working on and completing, right? So the Akunna, please can you show me a page with EIS? Ayuba, I hope I've been able to help you get some sort of clarity on why you should join Xtern. Is very much of benefit to you. You are working with people, it's really different when you're working by yourself, right? On projects. Akuna, are you sharing it already? Okay. So if you look to the right, I hope it's on your right for you. You'd see, yes, thank you, Akuna. You'd see this employability score. This is the most important thing for you as an extern, right? When opportunities come and recruiters come into Xterns, to scout for talents, come with opportunities. This is what defines how much work you've done and also like rates your skill, right? So, and this is heavily dependent on the number of projects that you have completed and executed properly, right? So it is very important. It's not for you to just finish one project and, think that all is well. Now, you want to raise this score very high. When you join, they'll tell you, what the minimum score is, to be qualified. All of that is going to be communicated. But yeah, this score is the most important thing for you as an extern, right? Recruiters are only concerned about your employability index score, right? So that score is solely what checks you as, solid enough for this role, because you've done projects on different things within that space that just helps them have some sort of confidence in your skill that you can do the job, right? So this is really what you want to ensure that you continue to boost as an extern. So if we have more questions on this, I'm happy to take that. And if not, I think we can end there. Not sure I'm seeing any other question. I'm getting an error as I was taking the assessment and I can't proceed. What can I do? What are the stacks needed to know for the assessment? Akunna, do you know the stacks needed for the assessment? Let me see if I can pull that up.
So for the assessment, you can do any stack that you know, right? Anything that you know, it's about you, what you're good at. I will not tell you to do this. What if you don't know it? As long as it's under the QA pathway, you can take any stack.
Okay, so I think what they're asking is the assessment at onboarding.
Yes,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
are they
yeah,
required
yeah.
stacks?
No, they are not required stack.
Okay.
They just need to
Yes,
select
please.
QA and then use any stack that they are aware of.
Okay. Okay. During the assessment. So sorry, Ayuba. So when the assessment is supposed to be a one take, right? So you don't want to leave your screen, because we have an active tracker, on the screen. So once you move out of your screen or stay too long on one thing, it might log you out, right? So I think you might need to give it time. I don't know how much time. I need to confirm that. I don't know how much time you need to give it to try again. But it's not immediate. Hi guys. I think that's about all of it. Thank you guys for joining today. If you have interest in this project, please sign up on Xterns.ai, and you're going to get a follow-up email to be a part of Xterns. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Akunna, for having this session with us. I hope
Thank
you had
you.
fun yourself.
I did. I
All right.
did. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.